So, yeah, so we're here just to have some good old fun. So, welcome to the Halloween Scream Stream event. Happy Halloween! So we're back yet again. This section, we're going to be doing some pumpkin carving. Normally I do a pumpkin carving contest, but this year I didn't have time, unfortunately, so I'm just going to pretty much ad-lib it as we go. Free-handed, I suppose. Now, with me we have Mr. Tal. Mr. Tal, how are you doing? Not sure if you can hear me or not.
I can hear you. Yes, I'm lurking in the background.
You're in the background.
Always. When am I not lurking?
No worries, that's fine. So yeah, if anybody pops up any questions or comments in chat, can you keep an eye out for that, please? Because when I'm working on this pumpkin, I'm not looking at this screen here. So I cannot see anything. So I will need your assistance on that today.
Don't worry, with my one good eye, I shall rove over the screen and catch what I can.
No worries, that's totally a-okay and fine. So we got a bunch of different things going on. So we have a whole bunch of sound alerts, special effects, all that kind of jazz and everything that you guys can access and whatnot. So I'm not sure how loud those ghosties are. Are they pretty loud? These lovely specters, they can be quite the nuisance sometimes with their noises in the background. I'll need your assistance on that. They're okay? Okay. Because sometimes they can be a little rambunctious and can kind of get a little bit loud. So just checking. If it is at all, just let me know and I'll try my best to turn them down as best as I can. So we got sound effects. We have sound alerts, more importantly, for you guys to access. There's 30 of them. Right, Tal? Yeah, so there's a whole bunch. Yeah, so spam away. It's Halloween. We're supposed to celebrate and have fun, be festive. So what better way other than to express oneself by being spooky and, you know, there's screams, there's howls, there's ghosts, there's witches cackling and everything, there's demon noises, there's even pop culture sounds on there as well. So any way you want to express yourself, just have fun with the sound alerts. That includes you, Mr. Tal, as well, by all means. Yeah, and there's scary organs music playing as well. And then we have UNICEF going on. I'm trying to collect for that. So those of you who can help, I'm fundraising for that. Any little bit helps. So if you can do that, that would be greatly appreciated. If you can't, no worries. That's totally a-okay. I did it last year. We did pretty good. And I'm just trying to continue on giving back to the community and the kids. And I don't see a dime. It goes directly to UNICEF. So if you want to donate, by all means, that would be fantastic. We also have the Wheel of Fate that you guys, if you would like to participate and have some fun with, that includes you also, Mr. Tal. And you guys use your Chibs channel points. So Tal, can you tell them how the heck does this all work? How does one access this?
Well, to actually access all of those, you'll find at the bottom left of the chat box, it's Chip's little witch girl down at the bottom there. And you'll notice next to that is a number, which is how many tips you can get. And obviously you get those just by there. Just by hitting the buttons. It's by choosing the chat.
Yeah, like how many do you have, for example? Jeez Louise. And you get them how? By, like, you just watch and lurk, right? Tell, whenever you press the Chibs channel alert to use Wheel of Fate, you need to let the animation do its thing with the music, because I can't hear you. It just goes over top of you, okay? So I have no control whatsoever. That lovely ghosty sound effects that it plays and everything, it is so loud, and that's on Twitch's, and I have no control over that. I've tried, and it just is blazing loud. So please repeat yourself what you were saying just quickly so people have an idea, and then we'll do the Wheel of Fate for you.
Okay. So when you try and close your eyes, just by being there, it's every little while. So you'll accumulate 100 really quickly. And if you want to speed that along a bit, play the sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
Tap the sound effects in, just as you're closing your eyes.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah. By all means, don't be shy. If you guys have questions about what's going on, right now, so what we're doing is I'm just in general chat for this portion because, well, I'm not playing a game, obviously, right? We just played Pumpkin Jack, which was fun in itself. I think I'm gonna continue like trying to finish that game because I love it. It's just awesome. And after this, so the schedule is basically, let me bring this up. So we had Pumpkin Jack at 1 o'clock until 3. Had a bit of a break, had to set this up. And now we're going to be doing the pumpkin carving itself between 4 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time, till 6 p.m. my time. Then we're going to have another quick break. So if you guys need to get your bevies and your snacks and stuff, why? Because we're going to be playing what game? Tell. Hype it up. Hype, hype, hype. Heck yeah. So.
It might take us longer than it takes other games to load.
That's right. That's right. And what's special with this particular 7 days for tonight? It's you may have. You may have. Yep. 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 New location and new looks all together. So it should be kind of interesting. And it is. But this castle, it's like what? It's going to be more kind of vampire castle, isn't it? Whereas the other one was Frankenstein's castle. No, no. I'm just trying to tempt you, you know? That's all. Just a little bit of tempting. But that's to come, and that will be after this, okay? So a couple other things that I think about. I save a little bit of time, and to be honest, like, yeah, it would have been a cool gross fest, but look at the size of this puppy. I went to the pumpkin patch with my nephews, and this is the one they picked out for me. This guy is huge, and you would think after like gutting him, he'd be lighter. No, not at all. This guy is probably at least a good, I would say almost at least 15 pounds. This guy's heavy. He's not light, like almost 15, 20 pounds, about that. He's like a big, heavy turkey, literally. And whereas some of the pumpkins that they got, they were just enormous. Like they were more round, whereas this one's kind of more oblong. But out of that, to clean out all the guts and sorting, so I don't know if you guys can see too well. Try and tilt it. I don't want to spill all these seeds. But these are the lovely roasted pumpkin seeds I got out of him. It's quite a bit, actually. And if you're curious, how does one make pumpkin seeds? It's actually really, really easy. You think it would be a lot more difficult, but it isn't. So all you need to do, if you guys are carving your pumpkins tonight, I'm going to share with you this recipe before we start carving. Because what you want to do is you want to get a big bowl, obviously, to gut your pumpkins, right? Now, I had this little bowl off to the side because you're not going to have near as many seeds to ratio to your actual pumpkin size itself. But you do still get quite a bit, right? To be fair. Then this little bowl, I just had it filled with a little bit of water in the bottom initially, minus these seeds that you see here. And obviously chop off and carve out the lid, get it all ready to go. And then scoop all of the guts, put it in a bowl and whatnot. And so today we're using a lovely sharp knife to cut out the pieces and the designs. But also what I found helps if you can do this, because a lot of people, they want the seeds, but they don't bother taking the extra steps. Why? Because to be honest, it's very slimy and gross and wet. Sorting through the insides, the innards of the pumpkin. So what I would suggest, if you can, pick up, you can get these at the dollar store easy enough, or maybe if you're carving with your mom or dad or something like that, they might have some of these like disposable type of gloves. Put these on, they're latex gloves, simple. And it's great because you can get right in there and you don't get the heebie-jeebies and the squeamish effect from touching all that slimy stuff. But I mean, if that's your thing and you like it and you don't care, then you can do that too. But for my purposes, because, you know, for being a little bit more tidy and clean, I just did that and I found it was easier to separate with these gloves on. And then as I did that, then I would just put them and sprinkle them into the bowl that had a little bit of water in it. Now, next step you want to do is once all the seeds are separated and they're in the bowl with a little bit of water, if you can get a strainer, that would help probably a lot. Dump the seeds into the strainer, swish it all in there and have running water at the same time. Really want to thoroughly clean off any of that pumpkin slimy stuff and goo. Then once you're done with that, you want to lay out I put a little bit of tin foil, I guess, on a baking sheet ahead of time, because that's where you're going to put your pumpkin seeds to roast. Before you get to that step, you want to dry the pumpkin seeds as much as possible, because if you don't and they're too wet from cleaning them, and also being inside the pumpkin, the spices and anything you want to add to it for flavor to your seeds, it doesn't really stick as well, and they don't properly roast as nicely as they can. And so that's what I would do as a trick to make sure you don't have soggy inside, like soggy seeds when you crunch on them and everything. You want to turn your your oven. I did mine at 350 degrees, okay, Fahrenheit. And I set the timer for 30 minutes, and that seemed to work great, no problem. Take your pumpkin seeds, maybe lay out some paper towels and stuff like that. Dump the seeds on there and pat the seeds as dry as you can. Once the seeds are all dry, as much as possible, it might not be perfect, then transfer the seeds onto that baking sheet I told you about with the aluminum foil. Spread them out evenly. Then what I did for these particular pumpkin seeds for the flavoring that I wanted, some people, they just put salt and that's it. I wanted something a little bit different, and I've done this in the past and it seems to really work well. I had a little tiny bowl. I put it in the microwave, and in it had some butter, or if you want you can use margarine, I guess, and stuff, and I just put it in the microwave. I melted it so it was all melted. Then I just went back and forth on the actual baking sheet itself over top of the pumpkin seeds, just kind of coated it, used all of it. Then I sprinkled a couple things actually, so a little bit of regular salt, but then I used seasoning salt, and for extra little flavor to it, you don't have to, but I like it, I used actually some garlic seasoning as well that you can use for cooking and whatnot. So I sprinkled that on there. Then I took a spoon or a spatula if you want, and you can just like sift and flip the seeds over a little bit, anything that's not coated. Do it like about thorough coating, about maybe 2. If you really want them super coated, maybe 3 times. It's up to you. Then lay them all flat, evenly distributed on the sheet. Put it in the oven. Wait for 30 minutes. Take it out. Put it off to the side. Let them cool. And this is your end result, which is really, really cool. So I'll just do another close up here so you guys can see if you missed out and everything. So you can see the lovely seasoning on them. And they're nice. They're so good. And they're good for you. If anybody says they're not good for you, they're lying. The reason why, actually pumpkin seeds, believe it or not, are very high in fiber, which is good on that aspect. And when you eat them, you eat the shell included. Now, some stores will sell pumpkin seeds already pre-shelled, but it doesn't have the same nutritional I guess value in it if you do that. They're still okay, you can eat them that way, but you can eat them with the shells, hence you get the fiber from that. But also they're very good because they contain magnesium. Okay, well, what's the deal with magnesium? So magnesium, I'm just going to tell you guys now quickly, you can find in actually dark chocolate. And basically what that does is, if you are the type of person who finds it very hard to sleep, it will help maintain your serotonin levels. And so it helps that way. And it has some other health benefit factors. The other one being of which, if you tend to have a bit of like headaches, or you have any other types of kind of pains in your bodies or aches and stuff, try taking a couple of pumpkin seeds and it will actually, believe it or not, this is a witchy tip, I'm telling you, health tip. But by eating that, it will actually help minimize and or somewhat prevent any pain getting worse. It'll actually decrease it quite a bit. So that's your Halloween witch tip of the day. So if you were ever curious, why do people eat pumpkin seeds? Well, not only because they're super yummy, but there are some very good nutritional factors about them, which is super awesome. So if you didn't know, now you do. So go in there and scoop out some pumpkin seeds. They're totally good for you. Now, the other thing you might want to do too, some people do this, some people don't. When you scoop out any parts of your pumpkin, that kind of thing, just keep in mind that if a lot of people, they tend to throw all the innards and everything in the garbage, but some people, I'm not saying you have to do this or you should do this, but as an option, if you do have some woodland animals, if they need something to eat, you can do that as well. So the seeds are good for like bird seeds. You can mix that as well with other seeds. And also the pieces of the actual pumpkin itself, other animals like deer like to eat that as well. And I believe some other wildlife, aka like birds and stuff too, will nibble on that as well. And it's good for them. So there's a whole bunch of different things which are really cool about pumpkins. So on that note, yeah, they're yummy, and you can use the insides for pumpkin pies. If you're a baker, you can do that as well, which is super cool. So there's so many uses for pumpkins. And the most important one that we're going to be showcasing today, jack-o'-lanterns, which is super awesome. Now, does anybody know, I'm going to throw this question out there, how jack-o'-lanterns came to be? Why are jack-o'-lanterns so popular, especially over here in North America? Mr. Tell, do you happen to know the trivia question on that one? Okay, so most people know that Halloween, it originated where? Do you happen to know that answer? Wrong. Beep boop. it way back when happened to be from Ireland. They were the first ones who actually kind of started the kickoff of Halloween. But it's not called Halloween. What is it called, Tal? You should know this. You're from the UK. Don't disappoint everybody. Come on, come on, come on. Samhain. That is the Celtic name for it. Samhain, right? So, and then when it came over to North America, then everybody's calling it Halloween more so. But the original, like, celebratory purposes of Halloween originated from Ireland and everything. And then also there's other parts of the UK that got in on it as well, like Scotland and England. And obviously so many of you guys immigrated over to North America way back when. But the tradition of actual carving of pumpkins, when they carved them way back when, they didn't have pumpkins over in the UK and Ireland and Scotland. So, what did they have instead of pumpkins? Do you know that? Answer, Tal. What vegetable? Ding, ding, ding! That is correct. So, when everybody eventually immigrated to North America, what was the vegetable that replaced the turnip then? Ding, ding, ding! Correct. And why did they choose pumpkins instead of turnips? Is there a specific reason? Not only that, there's a huge abundance of them, especially during this time of the year, and they're so much easier to carve the actual faces and illuminate them as well. So, hence why you see all the time all these jack-o'-lantern faces and stuff. And there's an actual story behind the term jack-o'-lantern. Do you happen to know that, Mr. Dow? Okay, so jack-o'-lanterns, let's see here. If I have it, I can't remember. Let me check. Is it my trivia things? No, it is not. Okay, well, I'll tell you guys anyways. So, again, this came from way back when. Again, Ireland, Scotland, you'll hear different places have brought this story. But the story behind it, there was a fellow, and the story behind it was this guy, I believe he was drunk, believe it or not, or something like that. But anyways, he was trying to find his way home, and I'm just doing a brief summary here. There's more to it than that. But basically, his name was Jack, right? And I guess along his way, something terrible happened. I won't give you all the clues. You're going to have to look up the story because it's more interesting. It goes into more detail. But needless to say, in order to find his way home, he used a lantern that he ended up carving himself and stuff. Hence, Jack-o'-lantern, Jack of Lanterns. And so his spirit basically was part of the association with the Jack-o'-lantern. So there you go. So that's where that comes from. Just FYI, food for thought. A lot of people don't know that, and so there's lots of traditional things that go on, especially for Halloween. And unless you've been taught that or someone has told you about that, you wouldn't probably know. Okay, so this guy's got an awesome, like, stem here. It's fantastic. Good job, nephews, finding that. Okay, I'm gonna put you over here because I only have limited space. Da da da. Bum bum bum. Dun dun dun. Alright, now I'm figuring I scrubbed and scrubbed and I couldn't get this mark off of it. So I think that would be the best place to do the face. cut out most of it. I mean, there is stuff on, I mean, it's okay on the back, but I really like this side here. Oh, if you can't see, tell when I'm talking, just tell me and I'll move, because I forget that I have this other camera here and whatnot, so I might have to just, yeah, I can't move it too much. Well, I guess I could put the bowl on the backside. This guy is so heavy. Like, it's, oh my goodness, he's so awkward. Oof. And I have a plastic garbage bag because I don't want to make too much mess. That's okay? Okay, so, well, I can't turn him this way because I need to see him when I'm carving. So, but this is the face side that I'm going to be doing stuff. Now, my question, do we want him jolly? Do we want him kind of spooky, or do we want him scary? What kind of face are we going for? Do we want more traditional? My carving skills are kind of limited because this guy is very hard. His rind is like this freaking thick. It's very thick. So I'm not able to probably carve near as detailed as some of those people who are really good at that. So we're going to have to do a little bit more on the basic side, but we can still do a pretty good job, like either way. So what do you think, Mr. Towel, or anybody who's watching and lurking out there? Should we make him... You're always with the evil. Okay. So you're thinking, do you want to type an evil face? And then if anybody else wants to type anything, then they can as well. So we can do kind of a live vote. So you're going for evil face. Okay. Now. Okay. I'm thinking... evil but sinister. What do you think? Yeah, but more kind of like... There's evil and then there's like wicked, kind of. Are you thinking along those lines? I'm thinking we want angular eyes if you want it evil. So I'm thinking like angling down the eyes. What do you think? Okay. So, okay, come here, buddy. Oh my goodness. Ugh, you're so heavy. Okay, so what I think... I'm just trying to see how he would sit. Okay, so you're like this. Now, I might have to move my microphone a little bit. If I'm a bit quiet, I'm sorry. It's just, I got so many things going on here. And I don't want to cut my microphone wire, which might happen if I'm not careful. Okay, so maybe like, because he's so tall. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I gotta move you, microphone. You're just in my way. Yeah, I think so.
I'm in danger.
Now, be careful, okay? Don't always do what Chibs does because I'm very accident prone. I'm just letting you guys know. So if there is a bit of fatality with fingers chopped, that could happen. I have actually cut my nerve in my hand once before, not with a knife, but another situation, which was not cool. I mean, if you are going to cut a nerve, that has to be probably one of the better injuries to have. Not that I'm suggesting you do have one. but you won't feel any pain.
What we have to do is
Don't
don't do it.
Don't do what Chibs does. You want to like,
If you pass it around, it acts like a touch push.
yeah. No, not a good idea. I feel like Jaws with this saw type. I tried to find this. Yeah, actually, probably. So, Tal, are you carving a pumpkin this year?
I am not. No.
What? Why?
You asked me that last year.
I thought you were going to this year. This is next year. Yes.
I have to do it next year because
Oh, boo. Boo. Boo earns. Well, how do you get better at it unless you try? You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Well, this is true. It's something you try and do.
Oh, pish posh, don't use that as an excuse. This guy is, oh, not easy. Oh, it, no, it, well, a lot of work. Especially, don't land there. Some can be really thick, and it depends on the year. If you have really good weather, then that makes a huge difference. Like, if it's not too dry and whatnot, then that's cool. Yes, yes, yes. Ha ha ha. But it's been especially very wet lately. We've had a very, very wet October. There's only been a couple days. Actually, today, right now, is not bad, but I don't know about the kids who are going to be trick or treating this evening. I think they might be like kind of showered out, maybe. Don't know. I hope not. But you never know. Really? Wow. That's surprising. Is that normal? Is it really? What's weather like though?
To be honest with you, over here it's been really mild at the moment, so the temperatures have been.
Celsius, you mean? Yeah. Hmm. Muggy. Wow.
It's a small country, but yeah, certainly for the area I'm in, it has been like that.
Hmm. No, it's just been like rain, rain, rain the whole time here. So I'm streaming from BC, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada here. And Tal's talking to you from over in jolly old England. So there's a bit of a time difference there. And you got a bit of a nap, didn't you? So in your time, yeah. Yep, you're a trooper. Yep.
I've had a bit of a nap. I didn't manage to achieve the sleep that I wanted, but I've had an hour or two here or there. Coffee helps.
Coffee, coffee, coffee. Oh. What are you? You're a smart man. Nibble, nibble, nibble. What? That's not fair. You have to share with everybody. No? Christmas? That's blasphemy. What?
Watch it, triggered.
Mm,
Say they taste really nice. They're only about just 5 grams.
that's wrong. Dude, you can't eat those now. You have to eat those after Halloween. You can't eat them before. Aww. Oh, BS. There's no such thing. No. Lies. That's so backpedaling, it's not even funny. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm selectively listening. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna eat them anyways. You can't tell me otherwise. La 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 la. We're like, it's not even Christmas time. What are you doing that for? That's like how people freak out when it's November. And some people already have their Christmas trees up. I'm like, it's November. For crying out loud.
We were freaking out earlier actually
Yeah. Yep. So, for those of us who aren't aware of what that event is about, can you tell us the history of that? And when that happens.
But he was the person who got caught with the lighted wick underneath Parliament back in 20.
Yep. Mm-hmm. They didn't. Yeah.
But probably shouldn't say that.
Guess that depends on your political view, right?
It
So.
very much depends.
Fair enough. Oops. Yep. Yeah. Especially with fireworks. Yeah. Definitely.
Huge fireworks these days,
A lot louder. Yeah. Oh, well, usually. Okay. So we'll have fireworks in Canada for Canada Day. Really, that's the only time. Or Halloween. You'll hear that. Last year, there's a whole bunch I heard going off like crazy. People like doing that. So now, should they be doing that? Well, it's kind of illegal, but they do it anyways. Just for fun. Unless they have special events that are, specifically made that you can go to and stuff. But we don't celebrate 4th of July. We do July 1st, right? Canada Day. So, and yeah, so that's usually when you'll hear fireworks if there are any kind of thing. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna have to move him. He's so heavy. Dude, you're so heavy. Oof. Ugh. I don't know if you can see. No, that didn't. Oh, well, kind of. I have to lift it up. There. So those are his eyes. He's got. So these are supposed to be like his pupils, and then the open part is the light will be shining out of that. Now, what do we want to do for the nose, do you think? Do we want to make like little nostrils instead of an actual nose, or what do you think would be good? So, well, we can do more triangles, I guess, of sort. We could do upside down triangles instead of right side up. And so we do like the flat part at the bottom and then kind of like, so it's like pointy at the bottom. You could do actually just two burrowed, hello, learn how to speak, Chips. Burrowed out like little round holes, kind of thing like that. Two of those. You could, accuracy, I don't know. You could try and do like little square ones, but I don't know how well I'll be able to do that with this knife because he's so hard to cut through. or maybe two like lines, like on maybe kind of. There's that, but I would think that would be more for a skeleton face. I think would be suited for that. I'm thinking the inverted maybe triangles might look good. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna see. I have to look at his face again to get an idea. Okay, buddy, come over here. You're so chunky monkey. Unless we do, let's do the mouth first, and then maybe that will help determine the nose. You think? Because the mouth's gonna be huge on this guy. And then we can figure out how we want to do his nose. So we want like a big, like maniacal, like laughing, like with lots of teeth, yeah? I'm assuming. Okay. Ooh, this is gonna take a while. Can you keep an eye on our time there, Tal, please? Okay. 'Cause I don't know, depending on how hard he is to cut, we might not be able to do the nose the way we want. I want to make sure we're not late. Yeah. Evil demon face. Oh, that's okay. Works just fine. Oh my goodness, buddy, you're so hard. Oh! Break my... He's so heavy. Like, I wish I could get you guys to, like, lift him. My goodness. Oh. And, like, his rind is so thick. It's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but whew. Getting a workout here. Oof, oof, oof. Come on. Curve, curve, curve. Ugh. Oof, 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 oof. One tooth. Lots of nasty, jaggedy teeth. So he looks like so crazy. My favorite pumpkin scenario I love doing, and it looks the best, is you have the big guys who are scared. And you have the smallest pumpkin that's the evil one sitting right in the middle on either side of them. And it's hilarious because you don't expect the little guy to be the most maniacal, evil, sadistic looking pumpkin out of all of them. But it's the best scenario. And most people are like, oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Like, I never would have thought that. Hmm. Well, it's like those little dogs, right? Who get all nasty and yappy and yeah, kind of thing. Ugh, goodness. Whew. Oh my gosh. Oh, wrist. This is so painful. Hope I'm able to play after this. No. It's fun, but it's like, whew, workout. Oh, it adds to the visual effect, doesn't it? There you go. Like, no. Please, no. Oh, what's a little bit of blood? It's all fine. It's all good. Okay. Oof. Oof, oof. Come on. Now, may I suggest when you are lighting these guys, tea lights just don't cut it. I'm sorry. They don't. They have barely any light, especially for these big guys. So, here's a trick that you can do. Now, if you have those like flameless, really tall candles, that look really, really good, those are handy. But if you want it really, really bright, what I did one time, I had a light bulb that was attached, and then I had it on an extension cord, and then I hooked it and dangled it in there, and I put a little notch at the back so it was dangling down. Holy cow, did that puppy ever light up? It looks so cool. Really nice. So if you want them really bright, that's one way to do it for sure. Whew. Whew. Thank goodness. So. Okay. I'm trying. Oof. This guy's huge. Ugh. Yep. Their patience. Yes, I agree. I mean, what? Sorry. Okay. Sorry, not sorry. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Very tricky. Lots of sharp, evil teeth. Mm-hmm. Right, mama? Yeah, exactly. Nah. Maybe. Okay. Oh, my wrist. Ow. Okay. Let's try and work away at this bit by bit. Need like a saw blade practically. Chainsaw massacre. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so when you're doing this, if you're a youngster watching this, please be careful. Make sure your parents are around. If it's too difficult to cut through, get someone to help you. I should have done that, but I'm by myself. So unfortunately, I have to be extremely careful when doing this. Yeah. And especially if you're using matches or candles or anything like that, be extra careful, guys. It's not worth it. Yeah. No, you don't want to ruin. Yeah. Be extra careful. It's not worth like hurting yourself. Or others, yeah, exactly. Or burning your house down. That's the other thing. Don't want to do that. Oh my goodness. Oof. Really, really tricky. He just is like, nope, I don't want to be cut. I don't want to come. I don't want these pieces. Oh, come on. Whew. Yeah. It's like I'm going over the same cuts like over and over again. It's like, nope, I don't care. Nope, not gonna do it. Oh, 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 yes. Good lord. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this. Ah! Dropping things. Look at how thick. That's how thick. That's insane. Zoom, 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 zoom. Yeah, exactly. What's this? A chainsaw, but not for this season. For the previous one. To celebrate. Oof. Oh! Bud.
You reindeers to sat on my lawn again.
Reindeer leaves a reindeer dropping present, yeah. Oof, oof. Come on. No, careful. Come on. Ugh. So thick. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Hope he doesn't topple over. That can happen too. You gotta be careful. And I hope that doesn't happen with this guy, but it might. You never know. Mm-hmm. Oh, there we go. Another tooth. Oof. Okay. Some progress, I think. Like to think so. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. Cut down the middle. Oh my gosh. Oh. There we go. Seeing a little bit of progress. Okay. Oh, so hard. Cut through. Ugh. Oh, okay, that one went that way. Yeah, this piece, I couldn't get it without like wrecking the other teeth. Come on. There we go. Bad baby. Ugh. Nope. Just being not a good. Oh, there we go. Ah! Me and sharp blades do not mix. Yep. Definitely, yep. Okay, that's not gonna happen there. Nope. Ooh. Maybe. Oh, maybe not. Oh, that one did. Okay. Partial success. Come on. I want to cut off these teeth. All this hard work would suck. Like, no. He's gonna have like just gums. That's it. That would be hilarious. Your pumpkin doesn't look scary. He looks sad. He's seen better days. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Nope. Ah! Darn you, pumpkin! Pieces falling on my lap. Whoa! That was good. Whoa! Okay. Let's make him really wide with that grin of his. He does, but that's good because you need oxygen for your candles. Otherwise, they don't work. He's like, no! Yeah, exactly. You're doing what? You're putting what in me? I don't believe I agreed to this. Mm-hmm. Yep. Sorry, Jack. Yeah. Yep. That game's hilarious, actually. It's a good game. If you haven't had a chance, I highly recommend playing it. Really funny. It's an older game. I think a lot of people have more fun watching me play it because the amount of like frustration and or noises that come out of me, so. Ooh, come on. Careful, knee. Don't chop your wrists off or your artery or anything in the process. If I do, I will cut the stream very quickly off. And I will be rushing to the hospital if that happens. Yeah, we don't want that to happen. How are we on time? Okay. Just checking. Holy cow. This guy looks extra creepy with that dark stuff on his face, actually. Looks like, I don't know. Really spooky! Spooky, spooky! Okay, let's clean out some of this stuff. In and out. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, I just noticed I put my candle where it shouldn't be. I'm gonna have to grab that. A minute. But let me do this first and then we can light them. It will, yeah. I'll be tripping and falling, and I don't have a first aid attendant to help me here. So this is his, I don't know how well you can see, his mouth. Oops, there's a bit of delay. Ta-da! So he's got quite a nice mouth actually going on. So what do we think for nose? Upside down triangles, I'm thinking? Or, you know what? I'm thinking little nostrils would look good. Ding, ding. Little circles. Because you got triangles here, triangles there. Let's break it up maybe with just little circles. Little nostrils. So what time is it now? Gotta. Okay, you gotta do the conversion. Yeah, I still have to clean him out a little bit too, so. Yeah, look at all that snot that came out of his nostril. Yuck. I'm thinking. I don't know if you can see the one little dot. There's a bit of a delay, I always forget that for you guys. Okay, and then I'm gonna do another one just off to the side here. But I do that. I make two eyes like that on the little guy, and then his mouth is huge. It's like, it's the best like face ever, and people just laugh. They're like, "Oh my goodness, that's crazy." Ah, snot. Pumpkin boogers. Ew. Yeah, it is definitely not what you think it is. So, let me tidy up the eyes. Just clean it up a little bit more where we can. Get really wide and bright. Do the same here. Stop fighting. Oof. Oof. Don't be stingy with your love. Come on. Work for me. Please. There you go. I want to make him top heavy and then him fall over. The saddest part is when the pumpkins they start getting all squishy, and especially if you have a large face and then they go, It look like they just lost false teeth or something. They can sometimes, yeah. You can do sometimes. Ooh. There we go. Much better. Almost there. Ha! He tried to get away from me. Nice try. Work on your top teefies. Make them nice and sharp. Nice and evil. Oof. Come on. There you go. And you. Ooh. Oh, goodness. Gracious. Wow, that looks good. I'm actually quite impressed. I'm happy with the results. Looking very evil and spooky. Yeah, I know. I don't want to show them off until I get the candle. You guys can see for yourselves and tell me what you think. Should have gotten a bigger bowl, I think. This one's pretty full. It's like, oh, you won't need that much. Wrong. He's pretty big. We've got some little lines here and there. Looks pretty good though. I'm quite happy. Couple more fixes. He's got some gunk in between. He's got plaque in between his teeth. I think that looks actually not too bad. That's pretty good. Okay, now I'm gonna take the gloves off. Oh, they're extra gross and sweaty and slimy. Yuck. Okay, but before I do the review, clean off my pants here. Some pumpkin stuff got on here. And I'm gonna grab the candle. And I'm not sure if it'll do it justice, but we'll give it a try. So give it a second. Let's pull that back up. Give me a moment. And let me put this together. Give me 1 second. I just gotta get around here. Get my candle. Okie dokie. Don't knock over anything. Don't knock over anything. Oh, okay. And you're alone. Okay, now got the lid, check. Got the candle, check. Now this one's battery operated, so because, well, again, me and accident prone and flames, I just didn't think it was a good idea. Okay. Woo! Okay, I'm gonna put this off to the side. Ugh, heavy mess. Okay. I'm not not sure if you guys can see him. I'm gonna turn off my lights so you can see him better even. Let's see. There we go. Happy Halloween. It's funny, his little nostrils, it could be interpreted as a bat. See, there's the 2 ears and then whichever way you want to look at it. So let me tilt it. There you go. So he's got his evil teefies. Let me see if I can move this back so you can see a little bit better. Zoom out here. There we go. What do you think? Did it turn out okay? That's awesome. I like the little nostrils. Yep. So he's got the evil pointy eyes and he's like, kind of like ready to chomp on you. So. Well, you know. But I chose the tall candle because then it gets up a little bit higher too. So it would look kind of bizarre. And I don't think it would really light up the eyes as effectively, to be brutally honest. So, yeah. What do you guys think? Yay, nay? I think it turned out actually not too bad. I can't complain. It's pretty good. Yeah. I think it looks really good. So, that is our lovely pumpkin carving that we have for today, which is okay because then that gives us some time to do the Wheel of Fate. Now, I forgot to do that, Tal. You used your points. It is that time. So let me just grab this here. Hold on. Just numbing on some pumpkin seeds here. What? Yay! All right, Tal. I'm not going to give you just one. I'm going to give you 2 spins because it took a while on that one. So I apologize. Okay. So what is the Wheel of Fate? How does this all work? Well, during this event, you guys have more than enough chances, if you'd like to, accumulate Chip's channel points. Now, just remind them again, just in case, how does one go about doing that?
Well, you accumulate Chip's channel points by lurking, by participate, obviously, using any of the 33 sound effects down below, and also by participating in chat. So hi, or any of those things basically will earn you Chip's channel points. You can accumulate 100 pretty quickly.
Yep.
100 is all it takes for the Wheel of Fate.
Not much at all, really. Okay, so there are a bunch of different things on this lovely spin wheel. We just don't know where it's going to land, though. So we have the following options, which are, let me just maximize my screen here so I can read them off to you. We have Halloween trivia questions. And with that, there's also did you know kind of information. We have Halloween sound effects, special effects that you could possibly land on. me drinking witch's brew, me eating lovely Halloween candy. That's an option too. Possibly it might even land on me talking in character. Now keep in mind if it lands on that I need you guys to write something in chat that you think would be more than appropriate for Halloween. That would be good to do in a Halloween kind of character voice. And try again. So, and also, witch trivia as well. That's correct as well on there too. So we just don't know what's going to happen with the Wheel of Fate. So let's give it a spin since you're kind enough to use your points, Mr. Towel. Eat candy! Where's my candy thing? Where's my candy bowl? Hold on. I had to move it out of the way. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Look at this puppy. My other jack-o'-lantern. He's so orange. He's full of tons and tons and tons and tons and lots and loads of candy. Oops. Where's my little side table? Oof. And lots and lots and lots and lots of loads and fun stuff. Let's see. What am I going to get? Don't mind if I do. Oh, Henry. Yes. Yum, 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 yum. These are awesome. They have peanuts. They have nougat. They have caramel and surrounded with chocolate. Oh my god. Wow. Thank you, Tal. Oh, it's so sweet. Okay. Next. One more spin. Oh! Witch facts. Don't mind if I do. Okay. Let's do this here. Shall we? Shall we? Shall we? Gotta move this out of the way. 1 second. Let's go here, shall we? Witch facts and trivia information. So, let's see, there's a whole bunch of really good ones. So a lot of the points that I have here are mainly about Salem, but there's a lot more to witch history than just Salem, obviously. That's the one, especially in North America, like a lot of people think of when it comes to witches, but there is a lot more. Tal, you know probably about that as well, especially over in Europe. My goodness.
Absolutely, there's tons. I mean, talk about the Russian witch Baba Yaga, yeah, and obviously there's a lot in sort of East Asia as well. I mean, witchcraft goes back a long way, and it covers just about every country.
Actually, I'm going to do this. Like, did you know information about witches fact? And I actually have, believe it or not, a copy of the story of Baba Yaga. And any of you who live in either Ukraine, Poland, Russia, any Slavic type country kind of thing, would probably know about that. And it's actually very interesting. So Baba Yaga, you'd probably be like, who the heck is that? So is a particular witch over in that part of Europe. And her house, as depicted, you might see a house that walks with chicken legs.
Oh, I'm hungry.
So, but before I get to that, let's read off some information about these witches here, this witches fact and trivia information. So, where's Salem located, right? So, for those of you who are unaware, Salem is located in Massachusetts, which, as you might remember from history class, well, especially in the States, hopefully, was New England's first established colony, dating back to the arrival of the Pilgrims of the Mayflower at Plymouth in 1620. So there you go about that. And the net result of the Salem witch trials, well, when all was said and done, sadly, 25 people lost their lives because of the trials. 20 were executed, generally hanged, by prosecutors, and 5 died while serving prison time. 2 of the casualties were babies, sadly. And yeah, and there's that too. Let me see if I can find that here. Hold on. Where was that?
Crazy, but certain animals could be prosecuted up until a certain time in England as well. So
Well, a lot of cats, sadly, were killed during that time over in Europe, which, when you think about it, is kind of silly because if it wasn't for them, then being executed, probably the Black Plague would have ended a lot sooner. Just saying. Because the timing of all that. But, where is it here? Let me find this. Yes, here it is. Oh, shoot. I go to it and then it's like, oh, where did it go? Oh, come on. Close. Yes. So you are correct on that as well. When it came to interspecies crimes, in addition to the 20 people convicted and executed for witchcraft, 2 dogs also were accused and executed for the same crime. What? Really? Seriously? But yeah, that's a thing. And did you know, pleading the fifth? So, you American viewers who are watching, another reason why it sucked that these trials took place before the Bill of Rights existed. One person was even executed for refusing to testify at the hearings. Unlike the others who were hanged, this unfortunate fellow was crushed to death by stones. So, yeah, because you can I plead the fifth, right? It's like, nope, I'm not doing that kind of thing. Yeah, but it's really crazy. A lot of the stuff that happened to witches. In regards to the legacy of witches, despite the horrible and senseless loss of life and community divisions that the witch trials caused, some historians believe that the traumatic incident had a silver lining, believe it or not. They argue that the trials created a taboo in America against mixing religion and government. And George Lincoln Burr called it the rock on which the theocracy shattered. There is also no question that the incident remains a constant reminder in our collective minds about the importance of due process in a legal system and the dangers of premature overreaction and irrational hysteria. So, because all this happened, what they're saying is you wouldn't have the judicial system running the way that it is now if it wasn't for this unfortunate thing of events that happen. So because of all the tragedies that were involved and how it affected people, that's the reason why the judicial system has changed to what it is. Hence, the importance of due process in a legal system and the dangers of premature overreaction and irrational hysteria. So there you go. Now, let us see here. I want to bring up this. It's actually quite interesting. And I believe we should have still some time for this. So I think it would be really interesting to read this to you guys, since we're talking about witches. Okay, perfect. Now, hold on. I just want to make sure I have everything where it needs to be. Okay. So Baba Yaga, house lore information. All right. Now, there's a whole bunch on Baba Yaga and everything else. But I'm going to zoom ahead here to kind of go over some questions that people are like, what is this character all about? So what is Baba Yaga's house called? The house that she lives in with the witch's feet that walks around. So the Baba Yaga house is a domus mactabilis from the Russian legend, the Baba Yaga. Now, I find it interesting that some of the translation, they always refer to Russian, because I know this is also, it's not 100% Russian because it's very well known in Ukraine as well. So depends on the source where you get some of your information from. It's really hard to say exactly where this came from 100%, because as I go through, you'll hear where this story is like very popular in different areas. So now, why is Baba Yaga's house on chicken legs? Because a lot of people are like, huh? What the heck? So in the old stories about Baba Yaga, she is the goddess of death, and her house with the chicken legs stands on the edges of life and death, which is why skulls light the way to her door, and the house has a fence that's made out of bones. So again, the question is Baba Yaga Russian or Ukrainian? So Baba Yaga is well known from the folklore tradition of Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. She resembles witches of other traditions, but in many ways is unique. Living in the forest in a hut that stands and moves on chicken legs, she travels in a mortar with a pestle and sweeps away her tracks with a broom, so you don't know she's been there. So what does the word Baba Yaga mean in English? Well, I know what Baba means because, well, like babushka, right? Bobby for short kind of thing. So in Ukrainian, Baba typically means grandmother, right? So and it also means that in Slavic languages, but can also mean sorceress, witch, or fortune teller, depending on the language and dialect. Yaga can refer to serpent, wood nymph, or evil woman. And what is the moral of Baba Yaga? So in the end, Baba Yaga too recognized her goodness and set the one girl free with light. The Baba Yaga story also shows us that the wrong people are always punished in the end, just like Vasilisa's stepmother and stepsisters. So I'll read the story to you guys so it makes more sense. So is Baba Yaga good or evil? Baba Yaga is an enigmatic, or ambiguous character from Slavic folklore, or one of a trio of sisters of the same name. And you'll see that actually, those of you who've ever played the Witcher series in The Witcher 3, there's 3 of them, and it's in reference actually to this. But because the writer of the Witcher series, he's Polish, so again, interpretation can be up for debate. So who has 2 opposite roles, those sisters with the same names? In some motives, she is described as a repulsive or ferocious looking old woman who fries and eats children. While in others, she is a nice old woman who helps out the hero. So, what happens if you answer Baba Yaga correctly? So, she gives out this riddle of sorts, and she wants you to answer this. But I won't go into this because then I'm taking away from the story. So, we'll go back to this if we need to. I'm just going to highlight that. So, and what does Yaga mean in Russian? Yaga from Proto-Slavic. Yaga means disease, fright, and wrath in Old Russian, Serbo-Croatian, and Slovene, respectively, and is related to the Lithuanian verb engti, strange press torture. In Russian tales, Baba Yaga eats humans by pecking like a bird. And what does Baba Yaga do to her victims? So in Slavic folklore, an ogress who steals, cooks, and eats her victims, usually children. A guardian of the fountains of the water of life, she lives with 2 or 3 sisters, all known as Baba Yaga, in a forest hut that spins continuously on birds' legs. Now, let's see here. What is the symbol of Baba Yaga? So Baba Yaga embodies a primal force of nature, representing the wild and untamed aspects of the natural world. Her hut on chicken legs symbolizes the connection between the human realm and the realm of animals and spirits. And let's see here. So, what is Baba Yaga's English name? Well, loosely translated in English, it would be Grandma Witch, literally, because like we were saying, Baba means grandma, Yaga witch, right? Okay. Here's the story. If you guys are curious and want to know more about Baba Yaga's story and where she actually is in it, the story's name is Vasilisa, which is spelled Vasilisa, the Wise. That's the name of the actual title of the story, where Baba Yaga is introduced into it. Okay, so here we go. Once upon a time, there was a merchant and his wife. They had only one child, a daughter called Vasilisa. The 3 of them were very happy together until Vasilisa got to about 8 years old. Then her mother got very sick. When it was clear that she was going to die, her mother called Vasilisa to her bedside and said, "I love you. I'm giving you my blessing and this doll. Keep this doll with you always. Consult it whenever you need advice or comfort. Take care of it and keep it secret." Then the merchant's wife died. Some years went by and the merchant remarried. He married a woman who had 2 daughters of her own, about Vasilisa's age. For a while, all 4 women got along well. But as the years went by and the girls grew up, the stepmother slowly became hostile towards Vasilisa. Now, the merchant needed to leave the country on business, and he was gone for a long time. During his absence, the stepmother decided that she would move with her 3 daughters to another house. She picked a house on the edge of the woods. On the edge of these woods, where it was rumored the Baba Yaga lived. The Baba Yaga was a mysterious old witch, a scary crone, maybe a monster. According to the rumors, the Baba Yaga ate anyone unlucky enough to cross her path as easily as you might eat a chicken. This new living situation suited the stepmother very well, for it was her hope that one way or another, Vasilisa would one day cross the Baba Yaga's path. One evening, the stepmother gathered the 3 girls together and said, "You're not getting anywhere near enough work done. I'm going to give you each a task, and I want you to work all night. One of you will embroider, one of you will knit, and one of you will spin." Having assigned the tasks, the stepmother lit a candle and put it on the mantel of the fireplace. Then she went to bed. The girls started working. For a while, they were diligent and made progress at their tasks. But then the candle began to burn down. One of the stepsisters took her knitting needle to clear the wick, but she actually drowned it, and the candle was rendered useless. They were left in the dark. "Well," said the stepsister with the knitting needles, "I don't need light. I can see by the light of the moon flashing on my needles." The other stepsister, who was embroidering, said, "Well, I don't need light either. I can see by the light of the moon flashing on my needle." They turned to Vasilisa and said, "You, Vasilisa, are the one who will need to get us fire. You are going to have to go and find the Baba Yaga and get us fire." He jumped up, grabbed Vasilisa, pushed her out of the house, and slammed the door behind her. Vasilisa stood out on the doorstep thinking, "Oh no, now what am I going to do?" She definitely did not want to make a journey into the dark woods in the middle of the night to go and find the Baba Yaga. Her knees trembled at the thought. She took the doll from her pocket. The doll said, "Don't be afraid. Go ahead and make the trip." Vasilisa walked all through the night. Then a rider went by, dressed all in white and riding a white horse. Suddenly, dawn broke. A short time later, she met another rider. This one dressed in red and riding a red horse. Suddenly, the sun rose. Vasilisa had already walked all night. Now she walked all day. In the evening, she arrived at a clearing in the forest. This was a very strange place. The longer Vasilisa stood there, the more frightened she became. In the middle of this clearing was a fenced enclosure. The fence was made of bones. There was a skull on top of each one of the fence posts. In the middle of this enclosure was a house, a very strange house. It was on chicken legs and wandered around in the yard. Vasilisa was so frightened that her knees knocked together and her hands shook. She had barely begun to make sense of the scene when she heard a strange sound. Just then, a black horse and a black rider rode by, and night fell. The eyes in all of the skulls on the face suddenly lit up with a fiery light. In that light, Vasilisa saw an ugly, old woman flying through the air in a mortar, a vessel in which you grind herbs or grain. The crone flew through the air in a mortar, her long gray hair flying out behind her. The old witch grasped the pestle in one hand and a broom in the other. She rode through the air with ease, wiping out her tracks behind her. The Baba landed with a swoosh. Her house immediately sat down on the ground. She went to the door and took out her skeleton key to open her skeleton lock. Just as she was about to open the door, she stopped and sniffed the air. She said, "I smell a human being." Vasilisa was terrified, but she spoke up in a very small voice. "Grandmother, it's me, Vasilisa." "Well, what do you want?" said the Baba Yaga. "My stepmother and my stepsisters have sent me here to get fire, said Vasilisa. "Oh," said the Baba. "I know your family. Come in and stay with me for a little while." Vasilisa was ushered into the house by the Baba Yaga. The place was full of all kinds of very strange and interesting things, but the Baba didn't give her a chance to look around. "Set the table and bring that food from the stove," she said to Vasilisa. There was an enormous amount of food, and Vasilisa piled it up all onto the table. The Baba sat down and began to eat. She ate and ate and ate and ate and kept eating until she ate all of the food. When she was finished, she gave Vasilisa a crust of bread and a bowl of soup. "Okay, young lady," she said. "Here's the deal. Tomorrow morning I'm going to go out. While I'm gone, you must clean my house, do all of my laundry, sweep the yard, and you see that huge pile of corn over there? I want you to separate all of the good corn from the mildewed corn. And you must cook my meal. All of this must be done before I return in the evening, or I will eat you." Then the Baba Yaga went to sleep. Vasilisa thought, "Oh my God, I'm so screwed. There's no way I can get all of this work done." She quietly consulted the doll. The doll said, "Don't worry. Eat your supper, go to sleep, and in the morning, all will be well." Vasilisa did as the doll instructed. When she woke up in the morning, the Baba was gone. Vasilisa looked around the house for a few minutes. She was amazed at what she saw, but then she remembered her work. She didn't know where to begin, but she discovered that all the work was already done. The doll had completed all the tasks except cooking the meal. Vasilisa cooked the meal for the Baba Yaga. When the Baba came home, she looked around and she pretended to be pleased that everything was done, but you could tell that she was actually rather put out by this. The Baba Yaga snapped her fingers and called out, "Servants! Servants!" 3 pairs of skeleton hands appeared. The skeleton hands took the corn and mortar and pestle and began to grind the corn. Vasilisa was dumbfounded. The Baba Yaga sat down at the table just as the night before. She ate and ate and ate and kept eating. Then, when she was finished, she gave Vasilisa, again, a crust of bread and a little bit of soup. "Okay," she said. "Tomorrow, I'm going to go out again. You must clean my house, do my laundry, sweep the yard. But this time, you must address that big pile of poppy seeds in the yard. Separate all the seeds from the dirt. And you must cook my meal. All of this must be done before I get back in the evening, or I will eat you." The Baba Yaga then went to sleep. Once again, Vasilisa thought, "Oh man, this is way too much." And she consulted the doll. The doll said, "Don't worry. Eat your dinner. Go to sleep. In the morning, everything will be just fine." In the morning, when Vasilisa got up, sure enough, everything was done. The doll had completed all the tasks, except cooking the meal. Vasilisa cooked the meal, and when the Baba Yaga came back, she looked around again and saw that all the work was done. She snapped her fingers and called for her servants. The skeleton hands appeared again and began to press oil out of the poppy seeds. The Baba sat down at the table full of food and began to eat. Vasilisa stood silently by the table. The Baba looked up and said sharply, "Is there something wrong with you? Why are you standing there without saying a word?" "Well, if I may, grandmother," said Vasilisa, "I'd like to ask you a question." "Okay, you can ask a question," said the Baba. "But just remember, too much knowledge can make you old." "Grandmother, on my way to your house, I saw a white horse and a white rider. Who was that?" "Ah," said the Baba, "the white one. Yes, the white one is my Dawn." "Grandmother, I also saw a red horse and a red rider. Who is that?" "Ah, yes, the red one. The red one. Yes, that was my son." "I also saw a black horse and a black rider. Who was that?" "Oh, the black one. Yes, the black one. That is my knight." Vasilisa thought about the skeleton hands, but she didn't say anything. The Baba Yaga looked at her. "Is that it? You don't have more questions for me?" Oh no, grandmother. You said yourself, too much knowledge can make one old." "You did well to ask only about things that are outside the house," said the Baba. "I have a question for you. How is it you are getting all of this work done?" "Oh, grandmother, I have the blessing of my mother." "What?" said the Baba Yaga. "You've been blessed by your mother? You must get out of here immediately." She jumped up and pushed Vasilisa out of the door and down to the gate. There she grabbed one of the skulls with the fiery eyes and stuck it on a stick. She gave it to Vasilisa and said, "Here you go. Here's your fire for your stepsisters. Now be gone." Vasilisa took the stick and the skull with the fiery eyes. She ran through the woods as fast as her legs could move. The light of the skull eyes lit her way. She ran all night. When dawn broke, the light in the skull eyes went out. Vasilisa continued walking. She walked all day. She arrived home as evening was falling. Vasilisa put her hand on the gate to go in. Suddenly, the skull's eyes lit up in the dusk, and she looked at the skull and considered tossing it away. But the skull said, "No, keep me with you." So Vasilisa took it inside. Her stepmother and her stepsisters were very surprised to see her, but they welcomed her. "We haven't had any fire since you've been gone," they said. Vasilisa leaned the stick and the skull in a corner, and the woman sat down at the table to eat dinner. The skull's eyes seemed to follow every movement of the stepmother and the stepsisters very, very carefully. In the morning, when Vasilisa woke up, she discovered that her stepmother and two stepsisters had been burned to ash. They were piles of cinders. Vasilisa took the skull out into the yard and buried it at the foot of an old oak tree. Then she opened the gate, stepped onto the road, and headed off for the market. So that's the end of this story. Although Vasilisa has other adventures, there's let's just stop here. This is important and things to consider. A few of the elements in this story. Now, elements that, as I would see it, points us in the direction of the magic that's basically all around, right? Now, there are a lot of really incredible images and ideas in the story. So it provokes a lot of questions every time that this story is told. So you might want to do some of your own musing over the details and images that grabbed your attention. So, for instance, the Baba Yaga is one of a long line of scary witches, crones, and goddesses who personify the mysteries of the Great Mother. So, these figures often have a deformed, ugly, and terrifying aspect, right? Ugliness and illness are part of life. They are also a face of our fears. These scary figures are also guardians, and their fearsome aspect frightens away the suspectful and immature. Those people who aren't ready to face these sacred truths. Now, figures like the Baba Yaga hold the power of life, right? And death in their hands and remind us that life and death are perspectives and moments in a process. As soon as you're born, you're dying. We say this, but do we really think about it? The Baba eats and eats and eats in the story, if you remember that, as the earth is prolificated and abundant. The corn and the poppy seeds connect her to life and food, and also to sleep, dreams, and death. The riders that are talked about in the story and their horses are hers. So, as a cycle of day and night and time itself are the earth experiences. I find it interesting that she uses the phrase, too much knowledge can make you old. And it's kind of a reminder that we need to learn the deep secrets in life pieces over time as we're ready, if we're going to make useful sense of them and become wise, right? There are right times for us to know and understand certain things. Think about how you explain death, for example, to a 3-year-old and how you would explain it to a 13-year-old and what you know about death now. So we need to be careful and respectful when we approach the powerful mysteries at the heart of life. What we are in is so big. This is easy to forget unless you are in the company of Baba Yaga, perhaps. Now, Vasilisa requests an appropriate piece of this body. Yes, I know. Thank you. So Vasilisa requests an appropriate piece of this body of wisdom, and in exchange, she's given a spark of the Baba Yaga's life, death, power, and that clarifying consciousness and the fiery-eyed skulls. So fire has a significant importance in the story as well, right? So, for instance, the fiery eyes in the skull suggest that the fire of awareness and consciousness, right? The fire in those skull eyes reduced the stepmother and stepsisters to ash. In fairy tales, the step family, you guys may or may not know this, usually those members are generally bad or depicted as cruel or stupid or dishonest. They try to harm or kill the potential life in that goodness. So I really like this story. I thought it was very interesting. There's a lot going on. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did too. But we have come to that time, unfortunately. So I think it's a good way to wrap things up. And I just wanted to share that story with you. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did researching it and looking that up and everything. So on that note, what do you think, Tell? Did you learn anything from that story?
Yeah, it's an interesting story.
Yeah.
I've not heard the full story before. Obviously, there are many different myths surrounding it, and
Mm.
a few stories about it, but not that one in particular.
That is basically the story of Baba Yaga and how she came to be and everything. That is the very first story ever written. That was way, 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 way back when, kind of thing. It's pretty crazy. It's really interesting. There's so much information about that figure in itself. It's very, very interesting. If you guys get a chance, I would highly, highly recommend looking it up. There's a bunch of illustrations you can see of her if you look up online. Lots and lots of information. But we got to keep up on our time. So on that note, I'm going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for joining us on the pumpkin carving that we did there. So if you didn't get a chance, that's what he looks like, end result. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in about an hour's time to play 7 Days to Die. So, on that note, we will see you guys pretty soon. And so if you need to, now's a good chance. Get some bevies, some snacks, that kind of thing. And we'll catch you guys back here in about an hour. All right. Until then, later, guys. Bye-bye.